Good morning, it's the 23rd of December today, 2 days before Christmas. It's a terrible morning. We've started off with a really cold morning, virtually frost, but it has rained all night, which has just kept the frost away. Not much to look forward to. We're in Tier 3 with the promise of possibly going down up into Tier 4 after Christmas. I don't know what Christmas is going to be like. Hopefully everyone will see their families. To try and bring a little bit of cheer, I've actually drove down to Thornley today to Peter Holden's garden as promised. We're in for a little treat. Peter's given us permission to have a look around his premises. We're going to look in the polytunnels where he grows everything. Peter's with me now. We'll eventually get through the greenhouse where he's grown his plants, and we'll possibly ask a few questions. I'll turn the camera around and we'll see Peter. Hi Peter, how are we doing? Alright?
Alright John, not so bad.
Very good. Thank you very much for asking us down to have a look. Delighted, and I think it's a proper Christmas treat for everybody. Peter's definitely the best league grower in the country, and he's certainly one of the top veg men in the country as well. He's won at all the national championships. He's won Harrogate, he's won the National Pot League Society. He's won all 4 classes on 2 occasions, which is a hell of an achievement. 3 occasions. Well, there you go, 3 occasions. It's a hell of an achievement. Nobody else has ever won it once, so that's amazing. So where are we at now, Peter? What's this?
This is the onion tunnel. This used to be the croissant tunnel.
Yeah.
Many years ago. So I changed it.
Changed onions.
Stopped the croissants. Too much to do. And changed it to an onion bed.
So you grow on both sides?
Both sides. It's heated with soil warm cables.
Yeah.
There's 27 onions each side, 3 rows and 9 in each row.
Yeah.
And soil warm cables in, and there's 4 runs of lay flat
on either side.
Either side of the onions.
And do you water through a tap, or like
just
a
straight through
hose?
the tap, no barrels.
So straight from a tap, straight onto the beds.
And never have any trouble. And this is the coldest side of the garden.
Yeah.
But having the soil warm cables in makes a lot of difference.
What depth have you got your cables in?
Them will be got to be down 10 to 12 inches down.
So when you're planting, you know how to avoid hitting the cables.
Exactly. I put a line down. The cables go on each side of each, not underneath.
Aye. So they're on the sides. That's fantastic.
There's a mark there. Well, that's where the cables will be run the same as the pipes.
Yeah.
Each side of the.
Perfect.
So when I do dig, I don't hit the cables.
That's brilliant.
You learn by your mistakes.
And do you give any air temperature, or do you just take it as it comes?
Just take it as it comes. Never have any bother. I'm planted out first week in April.
First week in April? That's early, and you still get frost after that.
No.
Do you fleece up?
No. Never do any of that now.
But your heat cables are switched on then, and the bed is warmed up.
Once the feet's warm.
Oh, well, that's great.
We never have any bother.
All the beds are all prepared, as we can see. They look great. The soil looks in good condition. You get these beds analysed, Peter?
I think I've had them analysed twice in 45 years.
Oh, that's not bad then. Well, that's how you look after soil properly. You obviously know what you're doing, and you're not overdosing with fertiliser.
Exactly, just need well of be. Everything's alright. Only got them tested when I got that yellow virus in.
That's right, yeah.
About 2,000 or something it was.
Yeah.
And I checked the beds where I'm Relatox then, and it just killed everything. Killed all the worms and that.
Aye.
So I just stopped using it now. I never sterilised after that.
Aye, so now you don't even sterilise.
Never get sterilised.
Yeah.
I tested for the pH and that.
That's great. Well, so that's the onion tunnel. We'll see these onions as we get round. I'm going to pause this video and we'll go to the next place. Right, we moved into a second tunnel, which is a homemade place. Flagstones on that side. As you can see, he likes a lot of water. The place is absolutely flooded. That's just the rain we've had overnight. I've got Peter plunging in it, and I'm stood in rain as well. What goes in this tunnel?
This is always been an intermediate tunnel. This.
So only intermediates in here.
This is just for intermediates. But last year, I only had 5 intermediates at the top, and the Geordie R's was in here.
Oh, yeah, you got mixed up with those, didn't you?
Well, I didn't.
Well, aye. So the Jodiar were meant to be like a Blanchleek, but you trust it and they were planted in here. Well, you've done well with them, so the beds weren't wasted. Again, you can see it's a homemade tunnel. Bed either side. Again, the beds are lovely and clean.
On this side, all I can grow on here now is long leeks.
Oh, so you put long leeks down one side and intermediates down the other.
Yeah. I've tried onions and here, pot leeks right through it.
Ah, they're against the white
Since
walls.
we've got the new neighbours, this used to be mesh up here.
Yeah, but now we've got a wall.
Fence up and start painting. So I just put the row of long leeks here.
No heated beds in here?
No, nothing
Just
in
straight
here.
in the soil. We'll move out because it's wet in here. We'll move into the next door. I'll let Peter in first. We're still social distancing with the restrictions on tier 3.
Oh.
Right, this is a metal frame tunnel, standard hoops, crop bars in, and I can take it that this is your Blanchleek bed by the framework.
Always been in Blanchleek. Right. Years ago it was pot leeks. Then I got into the long leeks, and since then it's always had long leeks in, but I'm going to change it. I think about taking it down and growing more pot leeks.
Yeah? What, and cutting back on the Blanchleeks?
Cutting back on that. Like I did this year, the Geordie Ours was in here. With no shows on, I decided to just dump the long leeks. And I grew 13 Geordie Ours in here and finished off with 5 seedling.
So, what's your theory in stop growing the Blanchleeks?
Right, because I've got a Blanchleek trench there.
So, you'll still have Blanchleeks in though?
18 there and 18 there.
So you've got 36 without this?
So that was 54.
Yeah, you don't need that many. Peter does a good job of what he grows. He doesn't need to grow a lot of anything. He seems to manage to put virtually every leek on the bench. It's dedication, and by coming and looking at the place, how clean it is, how well prepared the beds are, you can certainly see he's on top of the job, and that's why he's a top grower in the country. It's another lovely setup in here, and it's all lovely and clean. Beds all prepared again. Fantastic. Next door is just a small tunnel. We'll not go into that one. Again, there's floods around here, but that's where the Blanchleeks are grown. It's a very similar setup to in here. Can we look in your greenhouse, Peter? Yeah, we'll go in the carrot beds.
There's 7 bins of parsnips.
7 bins of parsnips. It's out in the open, but it has got a cover over it. Open sides. Again.
Get closed in when
yeah.
Eventually gets closed in all that.
So the parsnips
Plastic
are eventually
inside,
plastic down, yeah.
Plastic on the side and now wire mesh this side.
So this is all carrots in here.
These is all carrots. That's
Long carrots in the barrels. Stump carrots.
Stump carrots.
And a bed down beneath.
Used to have another 4 barrels there. Look at that 3 long, 3 short at Harry. I took 4 barrels out. I should have just left them and just grown the stumpers in the barrels.
In the barrels, yeah, they would grow in the barrels.
I must have been thinking too much.
So how many stumpers do you grow?
42.
In that little bay there?
Wide 7.
So 6 in a row by 7. 42 carrots. And have you done any winning with your stumpers?
Like, I've just grown up for Harry, and I'm getting second the last 2 years.
Very good. It's not bad out of 42.
3 long,
3 long and 3
that's
short,
all
yeah.
I've grown.
Oh, very good.
That Stocksy beat us the last time.
Never in the world.
Lucky.
Ian Stocks.
Lucky again, lucky Stocksy.
He's just a little bit far for me to travel up and do a little video of him. He's a lucky man, is he? He's beating you.
But then I've got some Welsh seedlings in it last year, and I thought I'd try them. Growing well into June, getting into July, they start to get the kick on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I showed 2 up at
the Benedictine. Yeah, and I put them 3rd, I think, didn't I?
3rd,
Aye.
No, I'm not saying that. But that's them there. And I'm getting another 10 this year, and I woke up the other morning and I was, right, too many long legs. I've got 5 types of long legs. The Welsh seedlings, get the shove aside.
Well, if it's got the bull one, it is getting knocked. So you're down to 2 now, and what are those 2?
And I've got them 10 off Medwin. So these, that was the Geordie Hour, what was up at there.
That looks nice and clean, still in good condition. Beautiful.
Cumbians. That's it, that was the other Geordie Hour, what was first, that one.
Yeah. It's still a nice colour.
Good.
They look good.
Colour.
Lovely and clean. Even at this time of the year, there's not a thrip in sight. The place is very clean. Peter is on top of his job. What do you keep him clean with, Peter? What are you spraying with?
Kilomite, John. I was good believing in that.
Very good.
Aye.
Well, they're all nice and clean. It's working.
Tested it.
I tend not to water mine much through the winter. How are you doing? Are you still watering these?
Well, I've stopped now, but I just put a little bit in there if I think you get the 2 dry.
If I get, aye. Well, that's more or less the same as me. I let them dry out a bit.
That one there is the new seedling there. I crushed
Which one?
This one. I got a bat of Mick Cook. Had Mick Cook's and Ivan Yace's Land Nedman together.
Yeah.
So I kept the seed off Ivan's, and I did a seed of Mick. So he grew some seedlings. That was a good one, that.
Aye. Oh well, that's good.
So we'll fetch that back.
We'll look forward to seeing that in the future. Beautiful and clean again. It's in good fettle. They're looking good. Obviously stripped hard back. That's lovely to see.
But that well seedling. I thought I'd try it again, but it never worked.
And we've got stock down here. Are these all 3 Cumbrian down there?
There's 2 Geordie Hours. That one's looked like it's going at the bottom.
There's one of them looking dodgy.
I've found lately the clover.
Yeah.
The water. Holding wet longer now.
It's holding moisture, you think? Aye.
Because it's got the water gel now.
Aye, it does, aye.
There's a lot being complaining about that. Down at John Gleigh's about the clove. It depends what heat you've got on, isn't it?
That's right.
You know, people haven't got much heat on.
I don't give a lot of heat. I've had no problems with it, mind. But I'll be honest, I've still just been using. I mean, I grow 3 or 4 different types of compost. It's all clover, but I'm finding that the multi-purpose is almost as good as the professional.
With the added John Innes.
Well, I like it with the added John Innes, but at the minute I'm just in multi-purpose, and I'm moving into clover professional. And then what I do, I buy John Innes number 2 clover, and I add that as I go on. Like, do you buy it already mixed?
Well, I have been it. I haven't started to use it yet. But I found all these is in clover with added John Innes.
Yeah.
And I find the stock is lovely.
Aye, yeah.
You can tell.
You can't tell, aye, they're looking good. You don't feed your stock leeks at all?
No. And that new seedling I got, all them was just growing in there, like clover added John Innes. Beautiful.
In pots? You grew them in pots? Aye, fantastic. Very good. We'll move into next door and have a look. Peter's grown in his back garden of his house, and there's not a lot of room. If you see, the house is just behind here, so the footpaths are all very narrow. I don't know how he gets a wheelbarrow up in between everything. He's got a lot of hard work humping stuff in and out. We're now in the greenhouse. Lovely and clean, lovely setup. Fluorescent lights on. They're just ordinary standard fluorescents?
Them's cool white there.
Cool white.
I used to have the warm white,
yeah.
But then I couldn't get them, and I've just got them. That's all I've ever used.
Well, they certainly work for you. And obviously you've got one Maxi Bright T5 down the, well, you've got one at the bottom which is a 8 tube.
8 tube, that's
and then you've got a smaller one here, 4 tube eye.
But this used to be an old canopy just with 4 warm white bulbs in.
Yeah.
Never had any trouble with that, John.
You're still alright with that? That was just not a T5,
no, just it was a big canopy like that.
Yeah.
The big tubes. Just the warm white ones. Never had no bother. Then I just invested in this.
Very good. So on this side, what have we got along here?
Right. That's some Welsh seedling I got.
They're nice and clean. A tiny little bit of virus, as I've said on, you've seen on my posts. We've got a little bit of virus. There is a little bit on here.
I've got 12, I think, and there's a lost one.
But it's an old leek, the Welsh seedling. It's still a very vigorous leek, and I think it's a good one for breeding from. Moving along.
So this one here is the new one I've got.
Is this your new one, or is this Medwin's?
This is the first year cross, this.
Oh, this is off your own seedling?
Yeah. And that's off the same head, but them was coming off. Them would have come off back in the middle of September. I was frightened in case I lost the head. I said, why, there's some coming off, I'll set them. Right?
So they come off a little bit early.
A bit early.
But even so, they're not too big. I mean, they look really good.
No, they've just been no lights and that just ticked away.
Yeah.
And these would have been set
A bit later.
the 15th. These.
Beautiful and clean. There's no virus evident in those, so they're looking good.
6 a dozen of them. So
That one's
that's
in, yeah, they look good.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right, these are long legs I've got.
You still growing the pendle?
Just got them off Hartham and Derrick last
Little
Wednesday.
few later.
The head.
It
fetches the head through.
Yeah.
And I soaked it straight away and I've set the tray there.
So you don't need big leeks this time of year, lads. I mean, there's some nice leeks in here, but they're not too far advanced. What's the straight one that's down in this last one here?
Them's Mick Cooks from there on.
Yeah.
Them would have been set the 1st of November. Mick Cooks again, off a smaller head. Them set the 2nd of November. But them was very small.
Yeah.
But them I was off Mick Daly.
Alright.
But he got them off originally. And this is Medwin's new one.
What do they call this one?
The Thai fan.
Thai fan.
Try T-R-Y fan. I've got 10 of them.
And now this is grass off a seedling?
Right, I think he grew it last year.
So it will be off grass or pips anyway.
Aye, I don't know if it's been
So
forced to seed or what.
you haven't grown it at all yet?
No, I think Medwin's was the first year this year. I think.
Alright, so that'll be interesting to watch out for.
But when I asked him where it's crossed on, it's off a Welsh seedling.
Yeah?
But he doesn't know where
He doesn't know what else, so it wasn't a hybrid, he's just let it open pollinate.
No, it's Dr.
Dr.
Dawson.
Fletcher. Oh, Dr. Dawson.
He's crossed it.
Oh, well, it will be a good crossing. Hopefully we'll watch out for something new there.
Surely you should know where it's crossed off.
Well, you would if Dr. Dawson's done it. He should know.
But that's them.
Well,
it seems to have a good length.
I was going to say, it looks as if it's making length and stood up very nicely.
Have you seen his catalogue?
Medwin's catalogue.
Aye.
Yeah, I've looked at it, but to be truthful, I haven't studied it as yet.
No, but he said it, I think they're a bit red. It said it was getting up to 10 round.
Was it? So, well, and a good length?
I can't remember the length.
Well, it's certainly
Well, it looks-
lifting there. It does, and it's
a
lovely
good
and clean.
colour.
It's a lovely colour. I'll just go in very close and see.
It's always had good length.
Aye, they look very good.
But I got it, them would have been in a foot long,
Tube when they come to you.
the flat
Yes,
electric tube.
yeah,
And they folded over at the top, so
That's
them would have
right.
been, well, you see, I cut them.
yeah.
When I first got them because they were long. That was the 27th of November, I think I got them.
Yeah, well, they're coming away well. They're only a month old after that. Good. Then we'll move on to Peter's pot leeks, which I would think will all be
No,
Cumbrian other.
This is why I'll start here. This, that 6 is G&G, that's John Delightly's new. It's a cross, he said, off a Jonesy and a Giant.
Cross Jonesy and Giant, right?
So he'd give us, well, I think he was a tray. I says, I don't want them, I've got too many. He says, I'll not get them in. I said, why take them? Anyway, I potted 6 off and I took the rest back to him.
Aye, they look good at the moment. Nice size.
So the other 3, I got 4 off Peter Curry
Yeah.
when you were up.
Oh, that's right, yes.
I lost one. In fact, Peter was just on the phone yesterday.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple of days ago. They're nice though, they're coming away good.
Right, because the Richardsons got some off them, didn't they? So them's just like stood at the corners part of the greenhouse out the way. So that's two sets of pot leeks there.
Is that 2 big onions that you've stripped down there?
Them was Mick Cooks.
So you've taken them down to that candle, which that's the way I do mine.
I took some back to Mick and the rest I've just give away today.
Aye.
Just them was stood in the big tunnel. Either chuck them out or...
They're just in 1 litre pots, and as you can see, he's taking all the flesh off. It only rots. It's best to get it down to a nice clear stem. That's what I do with all mine. They're looking good.
And these is me one. I've got another. Them's all the same. I start to strip them down.
Yeah.
Just to show a bit of the core.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
To get them rooted. I generally take them right down to the candle. But I just left them at that.
You can see they've been beautiful onions, like. These were all grown from pips originally.
These was all grown from pips.
Ah, they're beautiful. Anyone follows Peter, they'll know that he grows some cracking onions. He grows 54, I think. Out of 54, I would think you could possibly show 54.
Good of this year.
I've come down in the past and seen them in these beds, and you're just amazed to see the quality of every onion that's in it. They're amazing. They're fantastic.
This year, John, it was just unbelievable, that loft.
I've seen the pictures. Yeah, fantastic.
Unbelievable.
They were brilliant. It's a pity there hadn't been the shows on this year.
Them was only 3 a show.
Aye, what a shame.
Them was all off the kind of show. So I just stuck there. I've got some few more. Now this one is another new one.
Yeah.
I've got 15 of them. This was originally Mick Cooks. It's a cross of the Yorkshire Green and the Cumbrian. Mixed that at a few, yeah, and you give it to the lad at Holwhistle, Darren Tully.
Aye.
And he's got some seed off it, and this is grass off the seedling.
And yet, for being a fairly new leek, they've got a bit of virus in them if you actually...
Why, that'll be the Cumbrian, won't it?
Take a look. Aye, but the Cumbrian, once you drop it back to seed, the virus is gone anyway. I mean, the GSN was bred off the Cumbrian, the Cumbrian cross giant, and it's, green as anything. But
Mick grew some in them canvas pots last year.
Yeah.
When I was down. I said, look, they're fantastic, John.
Yeah.
I took some photos of them. I says, get some colours on them and get them shown.
Aye, should have done.
But just...
Haven't said that, it was difficult last year, like.
Aye. Just colour them and just see what happens. Then it gives you some idea
what you're looking for the future.
Branch properly,
yeah.
If they have a grain in them, if they want to get the length, it'll give you some idea.
You can certainly see there's Cumbrian in the leek. The shape and style of it, resembles the Cumbrian. They're growing very well.
I put them 3 on the other day. I just left them. You could do it a bit longer.
Like
just starting to come out.
Aye, you like it. They're nice looking leeks. They are. Be interesting to see what comes out this year. I was going to say we just need to get rid of this virus, and we need to get some better weather.
You've got to grow them, then just select.
That's right. Select out what you want, and then are the rest of your Cumbrian or?
There's the rest all Cumbrian, and them's grown well.
They're all looking lovely.
Bigger in the last couple of years. They've just took off. It was a really good head. That was the one of the winner of Pot Leek Society. That was the winner of Harrogate. Them 2 rows.
Yeah.
Them 2 rows there. And these 2 rows I was 4th with Blythe. That was the one that was 18 round. That.
So these are they all just in clover compost now?
That's clover pot.
Yeah, clover potting. That's the red bags. Yeah, they're doing well in that. And then you've got clover enriched with John and us to follow on with.
And that's what I use.
Yeah, for moving on.
I like that, John.
Oh, it's good. It is good stuff. I like the clover compost.
You can't see the soil in it till you tip the pot out. Then you can see it. You can
tell
by the weight of the
I was going to say you can feel the weight of it as well, like.
So I don't know what's in it. I mean, see, I know that one's a medium Newton.
Yeah,
the gold bags.
It is.
The potting's a high Newton.
It is. Yeah.
It's like number 3.
That's right.
But that. Stop leaks, maybe.
They should do well. It's the soil content that holds it. Moving on to the opposite side, I see Peter's just started setting some pips away.
Just the few I had, very poor John this year.
You didn't
You
have
see,
as
I
many.
only had the 2 onions, so
Do you cut the tops off your pips to get them away? I'm just.
because
I'll
like,
go in close. You can see exactly. There's been a long pip, and Peter's cut the top off to allow the new growth to pop through.
because you know you can get the pips really big, and you only got a little candle at the bottom.
That's right, yeah.
So these, before they start to grow, if you nip the top off it, it doesn't have to push through.
And you'll have to.
Because sometimes you've got to break the way.
Aye, you'll remove that pip as it starts to
yeah.
grow.
That would be easy to remove. But we'll just have